a hard sacrifice. You know, people don't understand the silver linings that were taken away, you know, just to pretty much be a nobody. Sleeping on the vent or in the train stations.
I said, ooh, Miss Anna Lee, deliver me to my doctor down the street. And I said, oh, Miss Mary May, show me the way to my preacher by the bay. And I said, oh, Mr. Rich man, oh, don't you know, yeah, you're gonna ride that train, you're gonna ride it with the rest of the folks, yeah. The rest of the folks, oh yeah, you're gonna ride that train, you're gonna ride it with the rest of the folks.
I've been on and off homeless my whole life. Something kept dragging me back here and I never knew what it was. And I decided, you know what, fuck it, let's just see where it goes. No matter what I did, it was wrong. It would, even getting my life together, it would fall apart and I would sit there and I would wonder, like, what the fuck am I doing so wrong? And then I figured out it was the universe telling me, hey, this is not where you belong. This is not what you're supposed to be doing. You belong somewhere else and you're supposed to be doing this. And once I accepted that and I decided, you know what, fuck it. You know, and if you're willing to let everything and everyone you love go, all your possessions, I mean everything, then you can, I guess, reach the avatar state. And that's something that we all still struggle with, you know. How do you love for somebody, you know? That's hard. It's really hard. You know, a lot of them like to believe in going absolutely numb, but for me personally, I'm different from them in that state because I believe that you have to have something to fight for still, or it loses all meaning. You know, not caring is gonna makes it all pointless. You know, you gotta give a fuck about something.
What are some of the ways you've been tempted to give up the fight?
A place to live, my kids, you know, money, and you know, for me personally, even when I had a place to live, I was never home, and I decided to just let it all fucking go after losing my kids and husband, and my apartment, and my car, and back to back within a year's time span, and yeah, I found them, and I love them with all my heart. I feel like I've known each and every last one of them for eons, like an eternity. Like I know them, I can speak to them in ways you wouldn't imagine. Well, there's more good people in the world than bad. I do believe in that, surely. Mainly, even the bad guys, you know, because we all have a consciousness and we all have a sense of morality, and nobody initially does wrong things for the wrong reasons. Not initially. Nobody. No one. Willingly understanding someone, regardless of how dark it is, can help out a lot. Yeah, there's a spot near St. Mark's that used to be a women's shelter, and I eventually want that to be a safe haven for us, and I plan on making that happen. So long as you believe something is real, it is real. I mean, your imagination really is not your imagination. Like, your mind is a very powerful fucking weapon. And so long as you believe something and you're sure, it is. I promise you that. That's why when you think about something, sometimes it'll appear. Or if you think about somebody, they'll randomly appear. I feel as much sadness and sorrow as there is for everything that I've lost. I feel more at peace and happier now than I've ever been my whole life. And I wouldn't trade it for anything. I wouldn't trade it for anything. Once you're there, and you understand, and you know who the fuck you are finally, and people always wonder, why the fuck am I here? What am I supposed to be doing? You know, once you know that, it's like, you wouldn't trade that for anything. No one. We're all working towards a better tomorrow for everybody. For us, the nobodies.
Well, I woke up this morning with a hole in my shoe. I said I woke up this morning, ain't a thing I can do. Woke up this morning, went looking for my fix. Come on, woman, I'm tired of your tricks. I'm tired. And I said, ooh, Miss Anna Lee, deliver me to my doctor down the street. And I said, oh, Miss Mary May, show me the way to my preacher by the bay. I said, oh, Mr. Rich man, oh, don't you know, you're gonna ride that train, you're gonna ride it with the rest of the folks, yeah. The rest of the folks, oh yeah, you're gonna ride that train, you're gonna ride it with the rest of the folks. You're gonna ride that train, you're gonna ride it with the rest of the folks.